Hello, welcome to this Fuji International Speedway Nations Cup. I haven't done any videos for a while and I've forgotten what race this is, so we'll have to work it out as we go along. But I haven't done any for a while and I've left the news, so I thought I'd better do a few. So it looks like we started 8th, racing hards. I think there was a tyre requirement, and everyone else looks like they might have been on the hards warming their tyres up as well. So we'll go through this race together and find out what happened, because I can't remember. Let's just have a little look up through the grid. Everyone else seems to be on hards as well then. These are Group 2 cars, so there's plenty of power. These things, these are a bit like the old Super GT Japan series cars. Most people seem to run the Nissan. Must be the car of choice. There's obviously fuel usage as well, as you can see the fuel going down a little bit. 14 laps. I would imagine that was something like a hard tyre and a medium tyre required. Probably a slipstream qualifying, as everything seems to be. And we've got a couple of penalties up ahead, so looks like we should get a few spaces, gain a few places here. You have to bear with me, I really can't remember where we finished with this one, so we'll find out. I've just remembered that there was fuel saving in this, because I remember doing a little bit of lifting and coasting at the end of the straights if we were in a slipstream with someone else, so yeah, there must have been some fuel saving to do as well, which yeah, I don't know how that panned out, I really can't remember. Bit tight and messy through the chicane here, as often it is the case. Best thing to do is just try and stay out of the trouble, and especially if it's tyre and fuel saving, it's best just to let the race sort of settle down, unfold, see where you're faster, see who's faster than you. And unfortunately, a lot of these lobbies, people don't seem to think that, well, it's what, have a good race, I suppose, which is fair enough, but sometimes that's best just to let the faster guys go. If you can't keep up with them, there's no point trying to hold them up, because it just wrecks your race work later on, doesn't it? So yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Everyone else still on hard tyres in front of us. Yeah, all the way to the front of the field. Yeah, all hard, so we'll see how it all pans out. Very tricky getting off that chicane. You have to get the car really straight, get the power down in a nice straight line. If you get it right, it's very quick. It's very quick, and you can gain a lot of time on the others. And the same as that corner there that we've just been through, that tight left-hander, I've found that I gained most of my time on the inside of the corner, although it didn't that time because I went wide, but a lot of people run out wide, take the long, straightest line, but the shortest distance seems to be pretty quick as well right there, so that works well. So we've used a bit of fuel now. Look, we're down to just over 3/4 of a tank. Start at lap 4. Everyone else, we're all in the picture of we're in the leading group anyway. And like I say, in case of staying out of trouble, saving fuel where you need to. It's quite good to save fuel when you can just follow someone else if they're near enough your paces. Often very little point in trying to push your way through when you can use them to your advantage by sitting behind them sometimes. Yeah, definitely fuel saving because I'm not revving out the engine here, so yeah, there must have been fuel saving involved in this race. Or obviously fuel at pits, but the fuel rate or the fuel fill rate is quite slow, so it's often better just to, when you're in a big group, use their slipstream and save some fuel. Always looks like it's going to get messy when you got 3 or 4 cars together, and in Gran Turismo it usually does. Sometimes it's best just to watch, or sometimes when the opportunities often open up for you as well. You can see we're coasting a bit there just to save a bit of fuel. We're not going to get through these guys, so it's best not to use the fuel saving instead, and hopefully we can jump in later on. So we've got lap 5 now, we're nearly halfway through this race. So I should imagine there'll be pit stops coming up fairly soon, although there's very little tyre wear, as you can see. So now I'm starting to wonder whether that was just a hards only race actually, and we didn't have to stop, but there was a bit of fuel saving involved. So maybe that was it actually. Yeah, I don't know if we have to stop in the end. I think we were just going to save fuel because it was a fuel race then, and obviously there's very little tyre wear, so normally if there's a tyre race they tend to have a bit more wear than that, so there's a bit of a shunting going on behind us there. And these 3 are getting well into it, aren't they, at the moment? Oh, and a car off in front of us as well. I think someone's picked up a penalty somewhere along the line. Yeah, there we go, 1 second. See, it took the shortest line there. Got one of them for it. So we've got 2 penalties ahead, although one of them's going to take them now. The next one will be next lap then. So we know we've got 2 spaces coming up, but we're in a bit of a melee with all of this lot going on at the moment. So again, try to stay out of trouble and keep our nose clean. And don't get any penalties either because they're at the start of the long straight. And when you get the start of the long straight, there's going to be a long, it's a big penalty. Guys are definitely getting feisty, aren't they? Yeah, see, no one's really got any tyre wear either. The guy behind us is using a bit more of his tyres than we are. So, yeah, so it looks like it's just a straight out bit of a fuel save race, but a straight out race. So sometimes these are good, sometimes they can go wrong. This is Nations Cup, by the way, so it's part of the FIA Nations Cup race season. So it must have been one of the last races. I think there was only one more, so this must have been round 9, I think. I think we've done another race. Oh yes, this guy sort of half spun in front of me and I couldn't get out of his way. Hit the brakes, but by that time he was already across my nose and I couldn't get out of his way. And I thought, I don't know, did we get a penalty for that in the end? It wasn't intentional at all, it was just the fact he'd started to slide and I was already on the power and that was just too late. Let's see if we can get another view actually, let's have a look. Get the cockpit view. So we coming down to that tight right left, the one I told you have to get out really well on. The guy's sticking his nose down. Oh, he just hit the brakes, but I just couldn't get out of his way. I did say sorry, I think, to him in the lobby in the end, but there wasn't much I could do about it because we were just in the middle of a bit of a battle there. So it was nothing intentional, but it was just one of those racing incidents, I think. And it looks like we didn't get a penalty, so that was a good thing, because that would have been slightly unfair in my opinion, because I didn't instigate the issue. But anyway, we got away with it. So, and he was about to take a penalty as well. So here we go. P11, lap 6. Tyre wear's minimal. Fuel looks about right, look, there's half a tank, just over half a tank of fuel. We're about to start lap 7, so the fuel saving was obviously at the start of the race. It's coming down the inside there. Did we get away with it? Oh, we did. That was close. See the yellow car diving, but we got away with it. So it's probably about the time of the race I think we needed to get a move on from memory. So I think tyres were then coming in nicely. Other guys seem to be struggling a little bit with their rhythm and or pace. Get out of this mess really, because the potential for something to go wrong is so high. Especially when you have the divers. Getting off that corner there is so important. See, we got straight on the back of the other guys behind us. The NSX, the yellow and orange car in front of us, that's a bit of a handful, it can be. And we got both, see, there we go, straight down the inside. That worked so well, that move. Shortest distance to the apex is often better. Although we went a bit wide there, I sort of done it for a bit of drive, but again, they've done the shortest distance to their apex. So come back a little bit. Again, see someone pitted there, look, someone took a pit, so they knew that they hadn't been fuel saving, so they knew they're going to have to at least get some fuel on board, if nothing else. It's quite a chaotic race, this, isn't it? Oh, that was nothing to do with me. He done that on his own, he got on the curb. I'd say those NSXs, Group 2 NSXs, they're a bit lively on the rear end, that's why most people seem to drive the same GTR Group 2, which is what this one is. So the field is slightly thinning out now. We're getting a bit of a breather in the traffic. So 8th, 9th and 10th, us being 9th in the middle. And a little bit further up the road is this lot, so it's quite a lot of battling. Again, I really can't remember how this all panned out in the end, so we shall have to see. So Lexus is doing okay, that's the Lexus on that car, that black one in front of us. That's good on fuel and tyres by the looks of things as well. It's got good fuel, P7, 8's a bit low, we've got plenty of fuel. Everyone else seems a bit less, so we've got time now to get on with it. Another P7 now pitting, look, so we're going to get another position there. These guys that don't fuel save, that don't do such a long pit loss, such a long time in the pit lane for fuel, so much better that you stay out where possible. Track position and all that thing is key, isn't it? It looks like the guy in the Lexus has got quite good pace, so we'll let him drift off into the abyss, and we're going to be 8th or 9th, I suppose, in this race by the looks of things. If we didn't get held up in the melee at the start, we might have gone further up the road, but I think I've only done one race, so it was all this one and nothing. He wants to have a go, doesn't he? Oh yes, lovely. He did have a go. The infamous dive bombers on Gran Turismo. That's fine. It's one of those things. Right, let's fast forward a bit here then, see what happens now. Obviously, this is all gonna. So we've got 2 cars, 3, and then he pitted it straight away. So he dive bombed and then still had to go and get some fuel anyway. These people, I don't know, I don't get it. He gained nothing out of that, did he? There you go. So we're P6, lap 10. I wonder if anyone else has to fuel. Let's have a look. He might have to. Look, very low on fuel though. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. So I'm going to say we're going to end up probably 5th here. Let's see how that pans out, shall we? I'm going to spin. Time for fun, pit, and there we go. So we're P5, 3 laps to go. It's all fairly well spaced out. You can see on the track map, the first 4 are a long way ahead. So unless they need to fuel, it's not going to happen. And he's behind us. He's got less fuel than us, so he's not going to be able to get that much of a move on. I think we've done it. I reckon it's going to be a P5, didn't you? P4 even. Hang on, what happened there? Now, oh, he was out of fuel as well. Another Nissan, didn't do any fuel saving. So that was P4 then. Right, nice. No one in front, no one behind. He came out just behind us. Ah, I remember this race. Yes. Because he was obviously a long way ahead and had much more. I was still fuel saving a little bit to make sure I got to the end of the race. It's not very clear on that little screen there. But he was definitely quicker than me, I seem to remember. I think he got on the back of us. He seemed quite keen to get past, didn't he? Yeah, he'd caught us up, but so if I was a betting man, I reckon he come past us. But hey, the best thing to do in Gran Turismo is just fight it to the bitter end and try and take him out and do all the things to stave it off at whatever cost. Oh yes, that was the friendly pass, that's right, I remember that. That was sort of, I'm coming through, it's a Gran Turismo pass. Just to make sure I get through, I'm going to push you out of the way. There you go, that's fine. I knew he was coming through anyway. He obviously was 1.5 or 2 seconds behind me at his pit stop. He caught me up within a lap or 2, so he's got more pace onto the last lap. The low fuel lights just come on. Look, so you're just about a lap and a bit's fuel left. So I didn't have a great deal to fight him with, because I'm sure then, if we look at how much fuel, yeah, he's got at least a lap more than me. So I was still mindful of the fact I didn't want to have no fuel at the end of the race, which is why I didn't just let him go, basically. So to the end of the lap. That must be Nations Round 9, Group 2, Fuji Speedway, P5. Must imagine sensible points. We didn't go again, so it was over 100, I'd have thought. Tend to race for 100 points if possible. A bad little race. Again, nice to see it again. Right, there's several more to post, so I shall do them over the next few days. For now, from the Gran Turismo headquarters, we'll see you again soon.